Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of College Hockey Talk. On today's podcast, I'm joined by freshman from the UNH women's hockey team, Marina Alvarez. Welcome to the podcast, Marina, and thank you so much for coming on. How's everything going?
Everything's been going well. Thank you for having me. Just getting ready for the holidays. So I'm excited. It's Christmas time.
That's awesome. Any holiday plans or just kind of just relaxing for a little bit since you don't really get that much time off as a student athlete?
Yeah. Well, we're home for break. We go back the 27th of December. So I'm just relaxing, just hanging out with my family while I'm home and seeing some of my friends. But yeah, nothing exciting for Christmas, just a small family gathering. And yeah, I'm just excited to be home. It's nice to relax for a bit.
That's good to hear. Well, it's hard to believe that you finished off your first semester of your freshman year. So my question is, hockey-wise, obviously, what have you taken away from the games you've played so far, and how would you evaluate your team's first half performance?
I've taken away a lot, definitely, especially from playing in Hockey East. Going to college and the transition, it's a lot faster pace, and I've taken away that every day you have to come to compete, and it's a constant battle, and it could go either way, like any day of the week, especially with all the teams that we play in our league. So I've learned that every day you have to be dialed and just bring it. And with our team, I think that we have been working really well together, and I'm excited to see like obviously what the rest of the season brings. And I think that like we have a lot of potential as a team to, get up into the top few teams of Hockey East. So I'm just really excited for the next semester and like what the season's gonna bring overall.
Yeah, how are you approaching kind of the second half of the season, and what are your team's goals and expectations? Because obviously every team in Hockey East makes the playoffs, but I think home ice advantage is really important to go on a deep playoff run.
Yeah, no. So for the next half of the season, like as a team, we're just really trying to go in with a really like positive attitude, and as a whole, just have a lot of energy and bring more energy than we do to the rink every single day of practice, to every weekend for our games. And I think that as a team, in the first half of the season, like we weren't winning as much as we would like to, but all the games, like we were in them, like it was a one goal game, a lot of them, and some of the games even like we out battled team, but that's just the way like hockey goes sometimes. So I think like our goal for the next semester is just to really dial down and like work hard every day and be positive so we can just continue to like improve and start winning more games.
Now, something I want to ask you, and unfortunately, I have to ask this question. I didn't think I was going to have to ask it ever again, but obviously, with the NHL, there's a lot of COVID positives, and it seems like a lot of schools are starting to become very restrictive regarding COVID policies. How are you approaching that as well? Because that's probably a possibility for the second semester.
Yeah, so that's something obviously a lot of us have been worrying about, because I know I just saw like Harvard, they're going online. So that's definitely something that like I've been stressing about, because I've been seeing like all like a lot of the like Ivy schools have already been shutting down. So I'm just really hoping that we get the opportunity to stay on campus, because I want to finish out my first year in my season, because I really love it and I'm having so much fun with the hockey. So I'm really hoping, just fingers crossed, that we don't get sent home. But everything's inevitable. So I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm just trying to stay positive and hope for the best.
Yeah, I think that's all you can do during these times. There's a lot that you can't, I guess, control. So it's kind of like trying to control the controllables. But I feel like it's really upsetting just because like it feels like we're heading backwards when I thought we were kind of heading forwards from all of that stuff.
Yeah, everyone has kind of been feeling the same way. Like everything was good this summer and the past like spring, and now like we're going back in the same direction, which stinks. But I'm hoping that like, everyone's getting boosters, all that kind of stuff. So I'm hoping something works so things can go back to the way they were.
Yeah, hopefully it's not as bad as the first time, and it's just a kind of like a precautionary thing. That's the only thing that I'm thinking of for positivity
Yeah.
right now about the whole thing. Now, getting back into the hockey thing, so talk about how you learned a lot as a player playing in hockey. So talk about what it's like playing in hockey and just the competition you face every night, because there's no night
Well,
off in that conference.
Yeah, that is for sure. Every day, you have to bring your A game and any team can win. That's why I love hockey is because you go into every game and you never go into the game thinking like, oh, like we're playing this team today or oh, this team's definitely going to beat us. It's like anybody can win. So you just have such a good mindset playing in the league in the sense of like you never like go into the game thinking otherwise. And it also just makes things way more fun because it's a lot more competitive and I just love that aspect of Hockey East. And I think that Hockey East has a lot of great teams. And I just think as a player, too, just playing in this league with the competition that we face every day, it's really helping me develop. So I love it. It's been really great so far.
What's been your favorite road arena you've played in so far? Because there's a lot of cool ones.
I would say we won a game against BU
Hmm.
and we won in a shootout, and I actually did score my first goal that game, which was super like exciting, cool. And I would say that's been one of my favorite games so far, just because like it was the comeback aspect of the game. Like we were down, we were up, we were tied, like, and that's what I really loved about it because it was just so back and forth the whole game, and like anything could happen. And then we ended up winning in a shootout, and we were home, so that was nice.
Hmm.
We won a home game, but I loved that game. It was really fun, and it was just like super back and forth. And I think that's what makes hockey fun, like just how back and forth it is, especially that specific night. So
Yeah, talk a little bit more about scoring your first collegiate goal against BU, and what was it like? What was kind of what was going through your head when you scored that goal, and who did you call first, and where do you keep the puck today?
so it was really exciting moment, honestly. Like I was just like smiling, like I didn't even know like what to say. Me and my friend were just screaming and like hugging each other because one of my freshman friends, Brooke Hammer, she assisted the goal. So like we were so excited because like we were in it together, which was super fun and it was just super cool, especially to like share that moment with like one of your closest friends. So shout out Brooke. But yeah, so it was really exciting and I was smiling. Like I was just like I went through the line and like my teammates were cheering and it was just like a surreal moment, especially because, a lot of us like we all work really hard to get to this level of hockey and just like moments like that are things that you really cherish and you appreciate. So I was really excited and I loved it. But yeah, it was a cool moment. And the puck, I have it in my dorm, so it's at school right now and it sits on like the top of my desk in my room. So it just sits there and chills. But yeah, it was super cool. I got a puck and like our coaches taped it and wrote like first goal with the date and the team we played. But yeah, it was awesome. And everyone always makes it special for you, especially on the team. So that's what I love is like just having the support of everyone around you too.
Like, are you gonna ever bring the puck back to your regular house, or is it gonna just always be in your dorm room every time you go to UNH? Are you just gonna bring it to your dorm room for next year as well, too?
Honestly, I haven't even thought about that. Like, I've thought about like it's at my dorm room right now. And, like for now, like I'll leave it there because it's like I don't have much on my desk, so it's like a little decoration. But yeah, I don't know. I'll bring it home for the summer. I don't know if I'll leave it home or bring it to where we're living next year. But I haven't thought about that. But
Hmm.
yeah, right now it's just chilling in my dorm room at UNH. So
That's
yeah.
awesome. And who'd you call first? Was like, that's probably like the another cool part about scoring your first collegiate goal.
I called my dad.
Hmm.
I was so excited, so I called him first, just because like my dad's been like with me throughout my whole hockey career, and I so have both my parents, but like he driven me to a lot of weekends, and he's been like my biggest fan and my biggest critic. So, like a moment like that, like I just called him. I was so excited, and he was so excited for me. So yeah, I gave him a call after the game, and we were talking about it, but it was exciting.
And it seemed like that win was important for your team, not only because your team was lost three straight games before that shootout win, but BU also swept you the weekend before. So how important was it to get that first win and kind of get the momentum set for the first half of the season?
No, definitely. It was super important. And like you said, like for the momentum part, like it just like rose our spirits. It's tough losing three straight games beforehand, but I mean, our team's pretty good with like just getting back up and not caring. And that's just an example of that. And after BU just beat us twice in a row, like we didn't let that like deter us going into the game. So it was super important that we got that win, and it carried on like into the next few games. And even though we did lose against Boston College those next weekend, we still played really well, and it was 1 goal games, and then we beat teams after that. So I think that it was super important for us to get that win because it kept us going. So
Now, what's been the biggest improvement you've made to your game since you began playing college hockey? Because just watching you play, obviously, I never had the chance to see you play before college hockey, but it seems like since the first game you've played to the last game you played against Penn State, there's been a lot of improvements that you've made.
I think that's something that for me as a defenseman is super important is like my gap control. I wasn't always the best at it. So like before I got to college, I knew that it was something that I really need to work on. And then playing at this high pace level, like I think that it's super important overall because, we're playing against really great hockey players and everyone's super fast and super skilled. So, when you give people like that time and space, they're going to do something with the puck. So I think that I've really been working on my gap control and making sure to take away that time and space, create less opportunities for other teams. So I think that for me, that's been something that I've been working on. I think I've improved a lot over my last few months at UNH. It's just making sure I have good gap control in the neutral zone and the D zone, wherever it is.
And who's been the toughest player you've had to defend in Hockey East or just in general?
Honestly, I wouldn't say a specific player, but definitely playing against Northeastern. They're super fast and they're super skilled, and they pass the puck really well, super quick, and they all see the ice well. So players like them, like it was really hard to play against, but I learned a lot in that game, just like as a defenseman and how I need to like get to pucks quicker and stuff like that. So it was really beneficial playing them. But yeah, definitely Northeastern. Yeah, they were really fast. They were really hard to play against, but it was fun. So
And it seems like their defensemen think more offensively minded than other teams you play in hockey. So like they'll pinch in the play and be involved in the
yeah,
offensive part of the play. So that's like another thing I feel like you have to think about when you go against a team like that versus another team in Hockey East.
yeah, because they're super active and it like creates more offensive players in the zone. So like if they come low, like as a defenseman, you really have to like focus on everyone, and they move a lot and do a lot of switching. So but their style of play is really good, and I think that it's good that they like use their defensemen, especially in the ozone. So, but it's definitely really hard to play against, and sometimes it can even get confusing because they switch a lot. But it was definitely like really fun playing against them, just because it was like beneficial for me to learn and like to gain like just some experience and like see what I really need to work on. Because when you play like teams like that, like that's when you really learn like, oh, this is what I need to improve on, like to get to this level.
Now, was the biggest adjustment you had to make to college hockey kind of that gap control you were talking about, or was it kind of the just the whole mental side of the game since you are playing against players that are a lot older than you are?
Yeah, I would say for me, definitely the mental game as well. I am like kind of young compared to some of the players out there. Like there's a lot of fifth years and all of that stuff with COVID, and then like um, I was lucky enough to be able to be a true freshman. So compared to some of the older girls, I am pretty young, but I think that I never let that cross my mind in the sense of like I tried to not let that get to me because I don't want that to be a factor in my game. Like I just want to play and be able to play against people no matter how old they are. But I think for me, like something that I do need to work on and like in the game, especially at Hockey East, like the level of play that we're at is just like being more aggressive and stuff like that and getting stronger, which comes over time because like you compare like a first year freshman to like a fifth year senior, like they're a lot stronger, they've been there longer, they have more experience. So I think like just getting stronger and like winning more battles and stuff like that in corners against all these older players is something that is super important and I need to work on. But yeah, so I think that obviously that comes with time, and I have the right people around me to help me get there. So I'm looking forward to it.
Now, another thing that happened during the first half of the season was you swept Union on the road. Just how important was that non-conference sweep for your team, especially since it helps, I guess, prepare you for teams in Hockey East?
Yeah, so it was super important for us. Obviously, like it helps our record and stuff like that. It doesn't necessarily help like our conference wins, but I think the most important thing that it helped was our team confidence. just because, like I said, we haven't been winning as much as we liked, but to sweep on the road like that, and for everyone, especially the way we played the first game, like we are all genuinely having fun. And I think that's really important for our team. And it just like brought up our confidence. And like also on top of that, like being on the road, like which we don't do a lot of like overnights, it really helped our team come together. And then obviously you add like the winning part to it. So that makes everything so much better for everyone, and everyone's in a good mood, and we're all just excited to be around each other. And I think that besides like getting those like few points, helping with our record, I just think the fact that we won and like everyone was having fun, it was definitely a confidence booster for the team, and it was super helpful for all of us.
Yeah, what's Union like? Like, did you get the chance to kind of explore the, I guess, campus a little bit? I don't know too much about it. It's in Schenectady, New York, so I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know
in
too much
Schenectady,
about it.
New York, which is like close to Albany. So that's like kind of upstate. And I didn't really explore the campus. We just went to the rink and
Hmm.
went played our game and left. But of what I saw, like it was looked like a pretty nice campus. Town around it's kind of busy. But yeah, I didn't really explore much of it, but I just know of the area too from, playing upstate and stuff like that.
Yeah, whenever I think of New York, I only think of like Manhattan and just like the
Yeah.
boroughs. It's kind of crazy that there's like pretty much the whole state is like where that place is.
No, yeah, like New York's huge. And everyone always forgets like that it's so big, but even as like myself, like before I like went off upstate to school, I I thought like New York was like I thought of upstate New York as like Albany, but like there's like Plattsburgh, like
Mhm.
Canton, like there's a lot northern places than that. So even when people always say that, I'm like, yeah, I
Hmm.
know.
Fun fact, I think New York has the most D1 college hockey teams than any other state, which is kind of crazy to think about.
I think, yeah, they have a lot. They've a lot of ECAC teams, and then they have Syracuse, which is CHA. I
Hmm.
think most of the teams are ECAC because they have St. Lawrence and Clarkson, Cornell, Colgate, and then Syracuse, and then they have LIU too.
Yeah.
But I think that's most of them.
Yeah.
Oh, RPI, Union. Yeah, there's actually, I never thought of that. There is a lot in New York,
Hmm.
which
Which
is
I
kind
think
of
is,
cool.
yeah, I think it's good for that state because I don't think people think when people think of New York, it's not like kind of a hockey state per se compared to like Massachusetts where I live. So I think that's kind of cool, and I think that would help the development of hockey in New York because obviously it seems like a big spot with a lot of people living in it. So I think it's important to get people from that state to play hockey.
Yeah. I would say like surprisingly a good amount of people in New York play hockey just through like all the USA hockey stuff that we've done over the years, like with districts and stuff. There's always a good amount of girls there, but obviously it's not as many as like Minnesota and like Massachusetts, like you said. But yeah, I didn't know. I didn't never thought of that there were so many college teams in New York.
Yeah. Is it a lot of people from upstate that play hockey, or is it seems because when you like I said when I think of New York like Manhattan that's not like a hockey like thing. Is Staten Island maybe that could be a hockey spot? Like I don't know. Is it more like just Upper New York or if
I
Long
would
Island
say
maybe?
it's like a mix, honestly, because Long Island is like we're kind of like we have a lot of hockey players and we do generate like some really good ones and stuff like that. Like Adam Fox, for example, he's nasty. He's really good, and he's from Long Island, so that's
Hmm.
cool. But no, so we definitely have like a mix. Like Long Island has like a good amount of hockey players, and then you go upstate and you go to like we call it like I guess the NOCO, like the North Country, like Canton, all the way up there by the border of like Ontario. Like there's some hockey up there, and then a lot of those girls play in Canada and like the PWHL and stuff like that. And then we have some in like, Rochester, Buffalo, like those areas are definitely populated with more hockey than I would say a lot of the other areas in New York, like Rochester, Buffalo, Syracuse. And then like, like middle New York, like Albany, like Saratoga, and then even if you get all the way up north to Plattsburgh, like there's hockey throughout all there too. So it's just kind of everywhere. But I would say like Buffalo and Rochester are definitely like more heavily populated with hockey like players than other parts of New York.
Yeah. Well, I'm a big Bruins fan. I'm pretty sure Charlie McAvoy is also from Long Island as well, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, actually, his sister Heather McAvoy, shout out to Heather. She was my D partner when we played hockey
Oh, that's
at
cool.
home together. But she's awesome. She's playing at St. Anselm's now. But yeah, no, it was really cool too because at Northwood we played against Lex Academy, and that's where she went. And her brother came to one of the games, so I saw him after the game, and I was like, "Hey."
Yeah, he's just got a huge payday too, so that must be nice.
Yeah, no, he did. I saw that, and my family we were talking about. We were like, "Wow, that's insane!" But he deserved it. He's works hard, and he's so good. So I love watching him play. It's awesome.
Well, we'll tell Heather that I'm a big fan of her brothers and herself as well. I'm a big Bruins fan, so it's been fun to. He's probably he's definitely their best defenseman in my opinion. So
Yeah,
he's
I
honestly one
agree.
of the best defensemen in the NHL. I think there's a Norris Trophy waiting for him in the next few years.
Yeah, no, he's definitely he's awesome. I love watching him play. So
Now, kind of getting back to the hockey side of things from your career, let's talk about your freshman class. It seems like it's kind of a smaller class, but how have you guys trying to get to know each other a little bit once you arrived on campus?
there is four of us. Kira Judikish, she's my roommate, and then Shay Barrier and Brooke Hammer, they're roommates, and we live across the hall from each other, so it's super fun. But I love that our class is so small, honestly, because I think it really makes us all a lot closer. And we really got to know each other through like we just had a lot of like we got to meet the whole team together. Like, we go and eat together because there's only like four of us. So we kind of like try to do a lot of things together because it is super easy because like it is such a small group. But, I love my freshman class. I think that we all get along really well and I always have fun hanging out with them. And I think like the four of us, like, I don't know, we just mesh super well together. And I couldn't have asked for like a better class. Like, honestly, it's been so awesome having them. And Kira, she's a great roommate.
Hmm.
She's like so easy to live with, so easy to talk to. She's one of the nicest people I've ever met, honestly. Everyone says the same thing about judo. Like she's the best. So it's just been super good, like for the four of us, and we kind of do things in like a little pack, so that's cool. It's kind of funny. We all have like electric scooters, and we like scoot places on campus together.
Yeah.
But no, I love it. Like the four of us get along really well, and we're all living together again next year in like a townhouse style apartment. So that's really exciting, and I'm just really looking forward to it.
Yeah, Judicus is also a good goal scorer as well, so that's another thing.
Yeah, she is. She's an awesome hockey player. She loves the game and she always works hard. So she's the best. Honestly, I love judo.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, first of all, do freshmen do you have to live in dorms, I assume, as a freshman?
Yeah, so we all have to live in one dorm. It's called Congreve. Like everyone's lived there, freshmen for women's hockey throughout the years, and they other athletes live there, like women's soccer, some of like the freshman men's soccer, like the men's hockey freshmen. So it's cool because we're surrounded by like other athletes, so it's super fun. But yeah, we all have to live in the dorm, which isn't bad because our rooms are really big. We got really lucky, which hasn't been like that in the past. So we did luck out with that. But yeah, so we all have to live in the dorm. But next year we're moving out to like a townhouse style of living, so it's gonna be really nice compared to like our small
Yeah.
little rooms.
And plus, you're just living with your own teammates. You don't have to share like bathrooms and all that stuff with other people, which I feel like can get annoying
Yeah.
sometimes.
Plus, we each get our own bathroom in our room
Mhm.
of where we're living, so it's gonna be super nice.
That is awesome. And it's kind of also funny to compare because the sophomores, they have a huge class. And then just compared to your class, it's kind of different how your freshman experience just bonding is a lot different than theirs were.
Yeah, because we literally have half of the class that they have, so it is a lot different for like our class versus theirs. So yeah, their class is really big. I think it's the biggest class on the team, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I just remember I was like, there was like, I felt bad for the social media person like last year trying to announce all the freshmen because there's just so many of them. Like,
It was,
it
yeah.
was probably like a lot of work for that person to make all the graphics for. But kind of transitioning, I kind of want to talk about your off season for a little bit and just preparing for your first year in college. So, how was your off season? Did you do anything interesting, whether it was hockey related or non hockey related?
My off season was super good. We got a workout from our strength and conditioning coach, Chappie. Chappie's the best. We've been working with him all year, and he's been super helpful, just with everything, strength and conditioning. Just someone to talk to. Like he's super cool. We love Chappie. So, but he sent us a like little our papers, like our strength and conditioning workout that we had to do over the summer. And so I just went to like the local public gym, did all that stuff, and tried to skate as much as I can. I was lucky too, because like here, I know with COVID, like not things weren't as strict. Like I know in Canada, like it's been like super strict with COVID, but in New York, like here on Long Island, like it wasn't super strict this summer. So I was able to like get in the gym and like not have to wear a mask while I work out, and then go to the rink and skate, not have to wear a mask. Like skated with my trainer, Kevin Gumas, which he's actually a UNH alum as well. He played on the men's hockey team there. Shout out to KMG Development. Yeah, but he's really fun to skate with. So we do a lot of skills training and stuff like that. And he would always tell me about UNH. So it's cool because he was just telling me about his experience and how much he loved it. So it was nice being able to like talk about that with him. But yeah, so I just did like skating, workout, and then I also had a job this summer. I try to work most summers. I worked at like a seafood restaurant and
Nice.
I waitress there. So that was like the non-hockey thing that I did, I guess. But I worked a good amount. And then obviously I went and try to visit my friends and stuff like that. But yeah, it was really good. Training was nice. Everything was, I can't say the word, accessible. Yeah,
Yeah.
accessible. So that was super helpful versus like the last summer when like gyms were closed and like COVID was at like its peak. So it was just nice because I was able to like train the way I wanted to and get to do all those things. And yeah, it was good.
Now, waitressing, did you have to deal with any annoying customers? Because I had to do that for a job back in high school, and I didn't really enjoy it that much compared to other jobs I had. Like I was a grocery stocker last summer, and I personally like that more, just because you don't have to interact with as many people. Maybe that's just my personal personality.
Yeah, the summer before I was a hockey coach and a camp counselor for hockey camps. So going from that to waitressing was a big difference. But the summer before that, I bussed at a restaurant, which is a lot easier than waitressing. But it was funny because my friend works at this place called Atlantic Seafood, and she was like, "Oh, like come work with me." So I was like, "Okay." Like I really needed a job, and at first I thought I was just gonna like hostess, and
Yeah.
then they were like, "Oh, do you want a waitress?" And I was like, "Oh, like I have no experience." And they're like, "No, like we'll teach you." So I was like, "Okay, like, I'll give it a shot." And like it's really stressful at first, especially because you gotta learn the whole menu and it's seafood. So it's a little difficult sometimes, but after working there for a whole summer, like I got it down pretty well. And you also get to know some of your customers, which is cool because like you have those like people who come all the time. So like you start to know some people's orders and then you see them often. You're like, hey, so it's cool. But yeah, definitely hard, really hard job, but it's a lot of work too. You're running all over the place. Like it was super busy, but I honestly like liked it because I made really good money. So,
Yeah.
but seafood's expensive, so you usually get a pretty decent tip after you serve, and
Oh yeah.
yeah. But it was really hectic, and I had some tough customers. Like some of the people, you know how people are, especially when it comes to food. They do me crazy. So, and it was always packed. So like sometimes food would take a little longer, and people would just start getting mad. And I was like, I'm sorry, like I'm not cooking. Like I just put the food in for you. Like,
Yeah.
but no, I liked it. I had a good like co-worker group, so it was super fun because I got to work with like my friends and stuff. But yeah, it was really stressful, but I liked it, and I had a great boss. My boss Colleen, she was awesome. So she was super lenient, like she was super easy to talk to, if anything. Like so that's why I really liked it too, because I felt comfortable with like my boss, which is always nice because then you don't have to like feel nervous when they come or
Oh
stuff
yeah.
like that. So
Well, that sounds like an exciting summer, and it must have been nice to have a UNH alum there because playing at Whittemore, obviously, it's Olympic size rink. So making the adjustment, I guess, as a defenseman in a bigger ice surface is probably a little bit different than going to another school. And how do you like adjust going on a road game the next night too? Because I'm assuming
yeah,
I probably told you about that.
honestly, I played at Northwood, so our home rink was the 1980 rink, and for 3 out of the 4 years, it was an Olympic size rink. So I got lucky to where we did practice on like the other two rinks in the facility, but we practiced on that one a lot. So I was lucky enough to be skating on that size rink for so long, so I was used to it, which was super nice because like it's hard. Like I remember going from like playing at home to Northwood, and I was like, oh my god, like this ring is huge. But lucky enough, like I skated on an Olympic size rink for all of high school, and so that really helped me because then I didn't have to worry about that aspect. But transitioning from like going on a home game to a road game, it's definitely different because like you said, like the Olympic size rink, you go from playing on that rink and having so much more time and space on that size rink to playing at like another school like Merrimack, and the rink just feels so tiny and like so small. So it's definitely like you feel like you're more crunched on the ice for time and space, especially with moving the puck. But honestly, it's nice though, because when we are home, like I feel like we have an advantage because it's definitely harder to like play on a big rink in the sense of like having stamina. But it is a little harder to play on the smaller rinks because, like I said, you don't have as much time and space as you would on an Olympic size sheet. But I think we do pretty well with it, especially the girls who have been there for a while. Like they know like how to transition and stuff like that. And so as freshmen, like we're obviously still learning. But like I said, at Northwood, I played on the Olympic size rink, and then when we went to other schools, we played on a normal size rink. So I was definitely lucky to have that advantage like going into college.
Well, let's make the transition because I kind of want to talk about the beginning of your hockey career with Norwood before you went to UNH. So you're from New York, Long Island, I assume, right?
Yeah.
So how did you start playing hockey? Because we talked about how it's a more of a hockey hub than people give it credit for. So what made you personally start playing?
So my dad, he, just always was watching hockey. He used to play it for fun, like he was a goalie and stuff like that. So I just really loved watching it on TV. And like one day I was like, oh, I want to do that. So he took me to skate and I hated it because it was too cold, apparently. That's what he said. So I didn't like it, but I ended up playing roller hockey until I was like 8, honestly. Like I played for a while. Like I didn't start ice hockey until I would say I was maybe, I don't know, like 7 or 8. I didn't start playing ice hockey because I played roller. But I played maybe even later than 8 because I played roller for a really long time, and I played like on the tour Roadrunners, which is a team on Long Island, and we did like these things like state wars, and like we went to Chicago and Toronto. So I played like travel roller hockey for a while and I loved it. It was so much fun. And then one day my dad took me to a Friday night skate just for fun to see, maybe if I'd like ice hockey again. And I just got on the ice and started skating, and like I could skate, which was to me crazy. But what I've learned is apparently when you go from roller to ice, it's a lot easier than going from like ice to roller. So it just like I started skating and I loved it and I was having fun. And he was like, "Do you want to like try out ice hockey again?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I ended up going into the organization, the Long Island Royals, which is a boys team here, and I played for them for a really long time, and I loved it. I love playing boys hockey. Just like everything is faster and everything is just, it was crazy. Like it was just so much fun, especially being younger and like growing up playing boys hockey. Like I feel like it helped me a lot because just the pace of the game and like learning to play with that pace and then transitioning from that into like the other teams that I played, like I feel like it gave me an advantage. And I feel like it really also helped like just with skill wise, and just having to compete against them every day, and especially roller hockey too. Apparently like it's when you play roller hockey, it's really helpful for your skills transitioning into ice hockey. So that's something I also learned. But yeah, and then I played on the Royals, and I did like a half season with the Lake Islanders and the Royals. So I played on the Royals, and then I played 10 games with the Lake Islanders to like qualify for states for USA Hockey because that was the rule. You had to play 10 games with the team. And then we actually won states that year. So that was really cool. That was just like really exciting experience for me. And then I played one or two full seasons with that team after I stopped playing boys hockey right before checking. So then I played like a season or two with that Leanders team. And then I was at a game in Connecticut playing mid Fairfield. And the Northwood like coach came and watched. And I've always thought of like going away to prep school. It was really hard for like my mom to just like kind of let me go, like because I went when I was 14, like as a freshman. A lot of people go like junior year, senior, but I went like right from the beginning. So I ended up like touring a few prep schools like seeing which ones, like whoever reached out, like I'd go and tour. And then I went to Northwood and, Lake Placid, like it's so beautiful. And then on top of that, like Northwood is not like a normal prep school where you'd only play like 20 something games. They do like USA hockey schedule. So like you would only play hockey when you were there, which is what I wanted to do. And we played my junior year, we played 65 games in a season, which is crazy, but it was so fun. I loved it. It was great. We were on the road like every weekend, but it was awesome. So yeah, I just went from Lee Islanders and got recruited, and I picked Northwood and I got accepted, and then I ended up there. And then from Northwood, I ended up at UNH. So it was cool growing up at home though, like playing roller hockey. I thought it was so much fun. I wish I kept playing, but with like travel ice, it would have been super hectic. And yeah, so the Long Island Royals was definitely really fun because like it was just like cool to play like boys hockey, and like you get super close with them, and then it's like having a bunch of little brothers. So it was awesome. And then I had a good time in the Lee Islanders too. That's when I was D partners with Heather and stuff like that. So that was super fun. And it was my first time being on an all girls team, and I loved it too. It was a lot different than being on a boys team just because like boys are boys and girls are girls. Like it's so different environment, but I loved both. And like playing on a girls team was cool though because you can like get dressed in the locker room with them and like all that stuff. So it was like you felt a little more comfortable in that sense, and it was just like really awesome to like get that experience to like play on the all girls team.
Oh
So
yeah.
I had fun and I loved it. But yeah.
Yeah, and especially with like, I feel like going from roller hockey, like playing ice hockey myself, I wouldn't know how to stop playing roller hockey. Like, actually, I wouldn't know how to stop. I don't know how you guys do it. That's like a tough
Yeah.
transition. And plus,
That is
thinking
something
about it,
that takes a while to master. I mean, like, it's like kind of like you can't obviously like stop sharply. You have to like turn your foot a bit, and it's like a quick motion. Like, I don't know, like your stopping foot that you like your outside foot you'd stop on hockey, like that foot you have to like make like a turning motion, and then it'll like you'll hear like a sound, and it'll leave like a scuff mark, and like you'll stop.
yeah.
But no, it's a lot harder than I even realized, because once I stopped playing for so long and then I got back on roller skates, just like skate to like town in them or something, I was like, wow, like I forgot like how hard this was. But it's honestly like once you get the hang of it, like it's just something that like sticks with you, and it's a lot of fun. I love roller hockey. So actually playing competitively, like it's crazy how like good people are at roller hockey. Like it's really awesome. Plus like a lot of the teams in like California, because we'd go to state wars and be like one state, and then all the states would have a team and go. And like teams like California, like they were always so good. Like all the like out west, like they were really, really good. So, and like Pennsylvania too was another state that was also pretty nasty. But California was always like a team that everyone was like, oh yeah, like that's like they have really good roller hockey out there. So it was just cool though to like experience something else besides ice hockey, I think.
Yeah, and also roller hockey is a little more rugged, it feels like, compared to ice hockey, which is more smooth. That's why I prefer ice hockey, just because it just seems like it's more like easier to play in a sense for me. I think maybe because it's just not my style of just like playing hockey, but obviously roller hockey, it's a little more rugged, but just like, that aspect of like transitioning must have been like easy for yourself. And then also going from boys hockey to girls hockey, I feel like that's also helped your transition to Northwood as well.
Yeah, it definitely has. And I'm super grateful that I got to play in a boys team for as long as I did. And, it was the right decision too for me. Like yeah, my parents didn't want me going into checking just because like that's when everyone starts to get bigger and stronger. And like the injury like rate for that, like for me would have just not been like smart. Like the odds of me getting injured would have probably been pretty high because, you're always the same height as like the guys and just so long. And then they all like turn into like 6'4" over the summer. So it's like it would have been like really crazy and like just like dangerous for me to like play that checking level. So it was really like I was really grateful though that I did get to play from like mites to pee wee, like whatever it was. So that was really awesome. But no, it was nice transitioning to the girls game though, because it's like it was just like different, a lot different, but in a good way, and I loved it. So it was cool, and I had a lot of fun when I was playing here too.
Do you think there should be like checking though in like women's hockey, just because obviously you're playing against players that are also women's hockey players. So it feels like the injuries won't be as bad
Yeah.
as if it was with playing. Like obviously, I understand if you're playing with boys hockey players, it makes sense. Like there shouldn't be checking just because of the injury aspect of it. But once you get into women's hockey players, you all play the same sport. I just don't understand. It makes kind of no sense to me because it seems like
Yeah,
it's very physical when you watch it.
it definitely is, honestly. And like you said, like it's different when you're playing boys hockey as a girl and you're going up a guy who's like 6'4", like 200 pounds. Like that's like a huge difference. But I would say like for women's hockey, like I think that checking honestly would like add something to the game too, like a little more excitement and stuff like that. But there is a rule in Hockey East, like if you're going for the puck, this is NCAA in general actually, but if you're going for the puck, um, and you do hit someone, it's okay because you're going for the puck. Like if you do end up hitting someone while you're going for the puck, like it's not a penalty because your intention was the puck and not to hit, like not to check that person per se. So it kind of is like a little bit of checking in a way because like you can like look like you're going for the puck and just body someone. And like a lot of the times the ref will be like, "Oh, you're going for the puck," and you're like, "Yeah." So it's like fine, but I think like adding the element of checking, like it wouldn't be like necessarily a bad thing at all. Like it would just make the game a lot more like aggressive. And honestly, it would make the game like harder for everyone too, I think, because it would just add another like level to the game because checking is something that like it's hard, especially like in the corners and when you're battling, like having that advantage to just be able to check someone is like makes the game harder for like all the other players. But I think like it's like if we're all like playing against each other and it's like it's women's hockey, like we're playing against other women, like I think that there was nothing wrong with like being able to check each other. I
Yeah.
think it would be kind of fun.
Have you ever had a checking penalty or just check someone in general in college hockey? Because I feel like playing hockey for as long as you have, there's got to be a moment where you just bodied someone by mistake, probably.
um well, I've never gotten a penalty at UNH. Wait, yeah, I don't think, no, I haven't gotten a penalty at UNH.
That's good.
Not yet, knock on wood. I'm not like the most aggressive person per se. Like I'm not also the biggest body on the ice. Not even close to the biggest body on the ice. So I'm not a big hitter. But at UNH, I've never like I've bodied someone like once, twice, but obviously like before that, like at Northwood, like I have a few times and I've gotten like roughing penalties and stuff like that. But that was more towards my senior year. And then even before that, I did one checking tournament with boys hockey in the summer. So that was cool. And I like that's when like, I was younger. So I was going around like trying to hit people. But like now, honestly, like I'm not really the biggest like hitter. Like if I do, like it's never gonna be like on purpose.
Yeah.
So I'm just more like, I don't know. I try to like just use my feet and, not engage contact and just like use my feet and my skill to like play. But I'm also like not bigger than most people. So I don't want to try to use my body because I know like that battle will not go well for me
Yeah.
because other people are stronger than me. So, but yeah, I've like hit people, but it's never intentionally. It's always just like, oh, sorry.
Yeah. Have you ever been checked before, like yourself? I feel like
Oh
that.
yeah.
Yeah. How does that
Yeah. I
feel?
actually sprained my AC once
Well,
in my
that's
shoulder. I That was like an illegal play. It was like a hit from behind, and I just got thrown to the boards, and my shoulder like went directly into the boards, and I had a sling for a few days. So that was interesting. But yeah, I've gotten bodied before a lot. We were playing Providence, and I went behind the net with the puck, and I just got lit up behind the net. Like my feet like flew in the air, and I was like, oh my god, like that was I just got rocked. But yeah, no, I've definitely got bodied a lot, but I just try to get right up and just keep going.
yeah, that's all you can do. Well, did the Providence player get a penalty for that or no?
No,
Oh,
uh,
wow.
it was honestly like rewatching it. It was a bit illegal because like the puck wasn't even directly on my stick, like it was ahead of me, so I was like going for it, and then she just like came around the net and like just laid me out. But it is what it is. It happens all the time. So I just got up and I was like, oh, like I'm not one to like if someone hits me and it's legal, like if I'm like fine and I get up, like I'm not gonna dwell on it and be like, oh my god, ref, did you see that? Like it's a
Yeah.
penalty. And like just get up and keep playing the game. Like it'll be fine, you know. So it could have been a penalty, honestly, I think. But like after like going back and rewatching it because I wanted to see it. Because my friends and I thought it was kind of funny. They said like my feet flew in the air. So I was like, oh, that's good. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm not one to be like, oh, like ref, like da. I just
Yeah.
am like, it's fine if I'm not injured and I can keep playing. Then I just need to get up and keep playing, especially because we were in the D zone. So
Yeah. Well, I think Tamara had a big check against Penn State. I don't know if you remember that.
I think, yeah, I do remember that. There's a picture of it too.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I think I saw a picture.
Luckily there's no picture of you getting body. That would kind of suck.
Oh no, that would suck. That would be kind of, it would be kind of funny, honestly, to have the picture, but it'd be a little embarrassing because
Hmm.
I don't want to have a picture of me flying across the game.
Well, kind of getting back to before UNH, what was your experience like with Northwood? Like, just talk a little bit more about that.
Oh, I loved Northwood. Honestly, like the year junior year before COVID was my favorite year, my best year at Northwood. Our team was just so close, so awesome. We set records. We had a 22 game win streak. We had the most wins in Northwood history. We played 65 games that year, and we lost in overtime at states to Selects Academy, but it was just crazy fun. And like our team, like I've never been on a team like that before, like where everyone was just so close. Like it wasn't clicky, like it was awesome. Like I loved it. And overall, like my Northwood experience was amazing just because it's so small, like, you know, so you know everyone and you're just really close with like your friends and your staff. And like being in high school and like going away at 14, like you grow up with like a lot of these people, so it's just like a different like bond with your friends and relationships, and like that I still have today, which is so awesome. And like one of my best friends is coming to UNH next year for hockey, so I'm super excited about that, Ileana Smith. So I'm really excited because she's like one of my best friends, so it'll be nice because it's almost like having a piece of home with you, because like we basically like grew up like in high school. You're growing up, like it's a big focal point of like you maturing in life. So I feel like I grew up with these people, and it was just really cool. I loved it. I love going to boarding school. You know, Lake Placid, of course, is it's beautiful. Like it's a great place to live, and there's a lot for us to do. And on top of that, just the coaching. Um, Trevor Gilligan was my head coach my junior and senior year, and Lee Getz was my coach, like my assistant all 4 years. And I just like had such a great bond with my coaches, and even Gino Riffle too. Like he was my freshman sophomore year coach, and like I learned a lot from all of them, and it was just like I loved having them around, and they were super easy to talk to, and they taught me a lot. And I think like if I didn't have those coaches, like I definitely wouldn't have learned as much as I did in college. And it even goes all the way back to like before Northwood, too, though, with coaching. Like my coach Mike Mineta, my boys hockey coach, he taught me like I would say most of what I know too. So I'm super grateful for him as a coach. But like back to Northwood, it's just what I learned at Northwood. I think if I didn't go there, I wouldn't be prepared for college,
Yeah.
honestly.
What's the best memory you have with Northwood? Is it going on that 22 game winning streak?
Honestly, that's like one of the highlights, but I would say one of the best memories was our states game against Selects Academy. Um, we were down 4-2, and then 30 seconds in the third period, I ended up scoring, and we then tied 4-4 with 30 seconds left in the third period. And then we did lose in overtime, but I just those games, like it was packed too. So like we were in Buffalo at the North Town Center, and the rink we were playing at was packed. Like you could just hear the fans, see everyone cheering. Like it was just surreal to have like that like atmosphere on top of the game. And then I would say Northwood Tournament, it has always been a favorite memory of mine just because it's like our home tournament, like everyone's in Lake Placid. But there's so many memories like that I could pick from Northwood, like whether it's hockey or not, that like I genuinely loved. But like hockey would definitely be Northwood Tournament and that one game at States, and just like my teammates. And that was all like that States game was my junior year of high school. So it definitely, having the team I had, like it made a difference in everything. So I loved it. It was awesome. Like I would definitely recommend like prep school for a lot of people, especially just like the transitioning from there to college. Like it just makes everything so much easier too.
Now, talk about your recruitment process to UNH. What was that like, and what made you want to go there versus other schools you might have looked at?
Yeah, so really for me, like I guess like the rule changed with the committing stuff my junior year. So I was already a junior when it changed, and I was kind of like later in the game for my like class, I guess, like for some people. So but I just really kind of took my time with that, and I didn't rush into anything and making any decisions. And I did like all like NCAA gives you 5 official visits, so I did 5, and UNH was my 5th one actually. So I did get to see a bunch of other schools beforehand, and I just went to UNH, and I was like, the campus, like it's everything I kind of wanted. Like it was a rolling campus, but it was also a big school, but it didn't feel huge. And then it had the town connected to it, which was really awesome. And I loved Durham. And then just like when I stayed there and like interacted with all the girls, like it just really felt like home. And that's what I loved about it, is that like I felt like really comfortable with these people, and I felt like these are the people like I want to surround myself with, like in college hockey. And like I just loved the coaches, and like we had great conversation, and they just welcomed me so well, and like so did all the other coaches. But it was just something about UNH that really, I don't know, it just felt like home for me. And like I think that like obviously the facilities are really nice and all that stuff, but one of the biggest things is definitely like my overnights, like comparing like the interactions and the way I like got along with the girls like there versus like other schools. It was just so different, and I felt like these are people like I can see myself being friends with and like spending time with every day. And like and then like the facility and the coaches and like all of that was also super amazing. So it just made like everything so much easier for me to make a decision.
Now, something that was introduced to college hockey last year, and I kind of want to get your take on it, was 3-on-3 overtime. Now, there as a fan, I feel like they're very fun to watch, but it seems like there's been a lot of coaches coming out recently against the 3-on-3 overtime. What is your take on it, and do you think it's the right way to decide a tie game?
I love 3-on-3 overtime. I think 3-on-3 full ice hockey is so much fun. It's not for everyone though, but I think that the best thing about it is like one turnover leads to a 2-on-1. Another turnover can lead to a 3-on-1. Like it's so crazy how like it just like the transition of it like can shift in like 2 seconds, leading to a breakaway and 2-on-1. And I think like that's what makes it so exciting. I also think that it also creates more chances for people to score during overtime, which obviously like is good if you're the team that scores. But I think that it's really like it's a really exciting game, and I think that the way it's set up is super like it's just anything can happen. And the like it's a lot of odd man rushes. Like if you make one wrong play and you get stuck low in the D zone, and then like the puck turns over, like they're on an on man rush. So I think it's really exciting. And the NHL obviously plays the same style, and I love watching NHL. So I like the other night the Ranger I don't remember who they're playing, maybe Vegas game was on, and like you're just watching it like it was like 3-on-1, 2-on-1, like everything was so back and forth. One guy was on a breakaway, another one was on a breakaway, and it was just like it's so exciting. And I think that that aspect of it for 3-on-3, where like it could just create those odd man rushes so fast and like those high chance scoring opportunities. I think that's what makes it exciting. So I like it, and I think it's hard too. So I think it's more of a challenge, which is always fun. So I think it's a good thing. I like the new 3-on-3.
I like it too. I don't know why some coaches don't like it. I think they feel like it gets congested once you figure out how to, I guess, deal with the 3-on-3. But I don't know if you saw the BC BU game that happened a couple weeks ago, but I feel like that just proved those coaches wrong that, it's a very exciting way. And plus, I think adding another player, making it 4-on-4, make it even more congested, which would be less fun to watch as a fan. So I think there's also that aspect to think about as well. But I agree. I think 3-on-3 is a lot of fun. And my question too is kind of like, X's and O's wise, how do you try to maintain like offensive possession in the defense in their zone while making line changes? Because I feel like that's kind of a key because you want to get fresh bodies out there, but you also don't want to turn the puck over.
Well, the biggest thing is like if you are in the O zone and like all 3 of them are on defense and you're trying to get a change and you have nowhere to go with the puck, like don't force the puck into the O zone. Like take it out. Like kind of bring it back, like leave the offensive zone, like bring the puck back into the neutral zone, even if you have to bring it back into your own zone, just to get everything like reset, like everyone to regroup, because like you'd rather like bring it back and everyone like regroup on sides than like go into the offensive zone and like force the puck. So then you can also get a change and you can have players like coming fresh on the ice and you can make like a nice pass to them. Like, so that's the biggest thing with this specific overtime like setup is with 3-on-3s. Like if you're in the offensive zone and you don't have any opportunities, any passing, any lane, nothing, like leave the zone, bring it out, and like especially if they're on you, like you don't want to force it, because like if you turn it over at the blue line, like they're on a breakaway. So it's really important is just to have a lot of poise, especially with 3-on-3. Like you just want to have patience and you want to like regroup and like get out of the zone. So I think that's one of the biggest things about this, like that players like are really starting to do a better job of, is just like being patient, like not thinking you have to stay in the offensive zone for the whole time that you're on the ice.
Now, what have you taken away from your college hockey experience so far at UNH? I know it's technically not complete, but I guess from the first half, what have you taken away from it so far?
Honestly, I've taken away that like every day I need to get to the rink and grind and be really dialed and really there, like just mentally there. And I think that I've learned a lot already, and I think that like playing at this high level pace and at this competition and game, like I just really realized like how ready I always need to be, because like I said, like it could go any way any day. So I think like the biggest takeaway for me is just like always being focused, always being dialed, and always like going to the rink and working my hardest, because every day you got to get better. And because realistically everyone's working hard every day, and like the minute you decide not to work hard, like somebody will bypass you. So it's just really important to show up every day and like give 100%. And I think that especially at this level where everyone's good, that's what you really need to make sure like you're doing. And so that's been my biggest takeaway from being here.
So we're now in a segment I like to call the non-hockey segment, where I ask you some non-hockey questions or somewhat hockey-related questions. And if you need help with answering any of these, feel free to let me know so you can think about your answer. But the first non-hockey question is, what is the most interesting thing you've seen or read this week?
Oh God, seen or read this week? Is it bad to say that I don't really read a lot, but I do read stuff on like social media and like just like around me. But I don't know. Honestly, I'm like haven't seen a lot of interesting things this week. Is it bad? I've been like home, so
Yeah,
I mean, I like hang out with my friends sometimes, and like I went to the doctor's office, so it hasn't been an eventful break. But yeah, like I don't know. I don't know what I've seen that's been super interesting. But I guess for reading, like I like have this thing on my phone where you get like daily quotes. So I guess like I would say one of those, you know.
yeah,
It's for like I don't know if you know the Instagram mentality. It's like like a
never heard of it.
motivational Instagram, and they
Yeah,
do like a lot of sports posting quotes. So I have like a thing on my phone where you get like texts.
that's cool.
But yeah, I didn't really do go many places this week. So, but yeah, honestly, I would say those like the quotes that I read.
What's the best sports quote you've heard? There's I feel like
Oh,
there's a lot of
that's
out there. Some of them I
that's a
feel like are
tough
fake
question.
because like
Let
it
me
seems so good to be true.
um oh God. There's a lot of them. Well, one quote that I always remember that my old hockey coach used to say is my old boys hockey coach, Coach Mike Mineta. He always used to say legs feed the wolves, which is something like it's like motivational, but it's more like directly at the hockey thing, like move your feet. Like so that's something that I honestly have never forgot. Like that quote is something that has like always been in my mind since I was like, I don't know, 8.
Yeah,
Like so I would say that's something that I always remember, just especially like with hockey. Like it's a good quote. I mean, you think about in the game, like it makes sense. Like don't stop moving your feet, like keep playing hard, keep hustling. So I would say that quote has been like the most effective in my life, especially
yeah.
like I can apply it to hockey. So
Is there any quotes that you have? Because I think it'd be cool if you got featured on the Instagram account.
oh, a quote. I don't know.
You can
I
make up one or like steal someone else's and they can just use it. I don't
I
know.
I would say um my my motto and what I live oh my god, what I live by is actually I have a tattoo of it, and my dad says it to me all the time, make it happen.
That's a good one.
I live by, because you can talk about everything that you want to do, and you can complain about things, and you can say, oh, I want this and I want to be on this line and I want to do this, and like something that my dad always said is like make it happen. So that's what I kind of live by, that motto, just make it happen.
Yeah, that's cool. I heard one quote which I feel like applies very well to kind of what the conversation we were having a bit earlier was. It was in a movie and someone's like don't worry about the things you can't control, just live in the moment. And that's kind
Yeah.
of I think a good quote for people to listen to now. Just don't worry about all the outside stuff. Just kind of enjoy your life and live in the moment and, control what you control, I guess. I thought it
Oh,
was a good quote.
that's a really good quote, because especially now with COVID and everything, like those are things that like those are variables that are not tangible, and like you can't control them, like you said. So I think like as an athlete, like having that mentality is really important, because you don't need to be worrying about everything else. Like you want to be your best self and you want to be mentally present every day. So I think like that quote is the way to
Oh yeah.
have a good mental like status as an athlete.
Yeah, because I don't know. I feel like playing hockey before I'm a kind of a control freak. Like I want to control how I get ready for a game,
Me
how the game
too.
goes, and like one thing that this thing has taught me is kind of like you can't control everything, especially for hockey. Because like last year there were some games that you're ready to watch, and then all of a sudden it just gets canceled last minute. So it's just trying to learn how to be flexible, and I think that's tough for someone like me trying to just be flexible with everything, but also like trying to learn that things aren't in your own hands. And it's been kind of a challenge, but that's like one thing I've been working on is I guess the most throughout the past 2 years.
Yeah, that's I'm the same way. I like to be in control, and like and it bugs me when I'm not. But especially when it comes to like I wouldn't say I'm like that in life. I'm like that in hockey. Like I
Yeah.
want to be in control of the game. I want to like win. Like obviously I want to win. So like when things don't go the way that I like want them to, it like makes me mad. But it also pushes me to work harder, which is something that I've learned to take like those things and like make it motivation, because I feel like it's important. If you don't make like stuff like that motivation, then it's just gonna have you sit there and dwell on it. So, but yeah, I know how you feel with the controlling thing, especially in hockey. It's
Hmm.
uh,
Now, what music do you like to listen to? Who was like your number one artist on Spotify
oh,
if you have it?
so I don't have a number one artist. I listen to everything. So any genre of music, really, I listen to. But I love like house music, which is like clubhouse music, like EDM. EDM music is really good. I like obviously like all the like classic like Tiesto, Avicii, like
Avicii's
all those
one of my
guys.
favorite artists.
Avicii's really good. Yeah, he's one of my favorites, but it was really sad. I watched a documentary on Netflix actually, which was really good. So,
Oh yeah.
but yeah, he's got great music. Tiesto, love him. Like Armin van Buuren, like all the original EDM artists are really good. And then like going into like more modern stuff, like now that they've come out with, like there's Segala, I think you is pronounced, really good. Like he's got a lot of good songs. One of my favorites is Sweet Lovin'. It's a great one. And yeah, but I love EDM music, especially like I've been into like clubhouse music, which
Yeah.
I don't really know how to explain it, but it's just really good. Like it's like good dance music and stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, I love EDM. That's probably one of my favorite genres. But then I listen to like obviously like rap and like country, and like I have all these different playlists for like different things and different moods. And so yeah, but I would say I'm a big EDM person, and I love like the original EDM, like some of the harder like EDM stuff, and like not more of the like I don't know, like now EDM, like there's a lot of good songs, but it's not the same as it was in like the Avicii era and like that stuff. So
Hmm. Yeah, I'm kind of the same exact way because I have a playlist for each genre of music. So whatever mood I'm in, I can just go to that playlist. I don't need to like find songs. But
Yeah.
regarding the EDM thing, I'm a huge Avicii fan. "Wake Me Up" was kind of the song that got me into EDM, and it's kind of sad to see what happened to him because I feel like he probably got overworked and it kind of took a
Yeah.
mental drain on him. But today I'm a big fan of Kygo, Martin Garrix. Like those are mainstream ones, but there's another guy named
Yeah.
Griffin. I don't know if you ever heard of him, but he's
Yes,
really good
I know
too.
who Griffin is. There's one song called Don't Leave. It's like his remix. It's really good. I love that song. But yeah, I love Martin Garrix. Kygo, I'm a huge Kygo fan. I
Yeah.
love all Kygo's music, especially in the summer. It's just really good summer music too, I think, because it's more like tropical house. So I love Kygo. But no, those are all great artists. I listen to like all of that stuff. And then there's like dang, oh, so I love like the old Swedish House Mafia,
Oh,
like
they're good.
yeah, so all of that stuff and like I don't know if you know who like Armin van Buren is, but he's really good.
Hmm.
But yeah, I listen to like all that stuff. But the new like mainstream EDM too, like obviously like Galantis, like all of them, like it's all good. So I love it. But Kygo, that's a good one. I love
Yeah.
Kygo.
It's kind of funny because when you think about Kygo, like you said, you think about summer, but he's from Norway, which is probably like one of the coldest places I feel like you can
Yeah.
think of, which is kind of funny. But no, his new song "Love Me Now," I don't know if you heard it. That's really good. It came out last August.
No, I haven't heard it, but I listen to a lot of his older
Yeah.
stuff, like his older album. I don't know what it's called, but it's like the background's white and it's got like a blue
Oh,
thing on it.
Golden Hour. It came out during the
Yeah.
pandemic. That was like all
I
I
lis-
listened to because there was nothing else going on.
I listen to that album a lot, and he's got a lot of good songs on there. But no, I love Kygo, and it's funny though. Like you said, he's from Norway, which I actually didn't know. So to think of that, that's crazy because his music is very like the beat is like it gives me like tropical like, and I
Yeah.
always listen to it in the summer when I'm at the beach. So I love it. It's so good.
And like the only reason why I know he's from Norway is because I follow him on Instagram and he posted something about like Norwegian like Independence Day, and I was like, oh, I guess that's where he's from. So I thought that's how I found out about that.
No, yeah, he's awesome. I love Kygo, but yeah, I love EDM. EDM is great. A lot of people either love it or hate it. I feel like there's the mainstream songs that everyone knows, but like the more like not as like I guess you could say I don't know new stuff. Like
Hmm.
a lot of people don't know, so it's hard to listen to like in the car with your friends sometimes.
Oh yeah.
But I love it.
Now, what's your biggest pet peeve?
Oh, being late. I Well, I don't like being late, and I also hate like when I'm going somewhere and I'm waiting on people and they're gonna make me late. I hate that. That's my biggest pet peeve. Because I also am just like I'm kind of impatient when it comes to like going places. Like I just want to be there and I want to get there and I want to be there on time. Well, usually like early because at Northwood, my coach said if you're 5 minutes early, you were still late. So I always try to be places like earlier, but I just hate waiting on like other people to go places. Like if I'm ready and like I want to
Yeah.
get there at the same time, like I want to go. So I would say like being late and just is like one of my biggest pet peeves. Like I hate that.
Yeah, I have some friends that are always late. You just have to deal with that. You know, you get the phone calls like, "Give me 5 minutes," and you just know they're
Yeah.
not out of their
And
house.
then it
So
turns into like an hour.
yeah, but
I
I understand that feeling. It depends. There's some if I really care about something, I'll be there early for it. But if it's not something I care about, I'm kind of late on it.
Yeah, I try my best to be on time, but I don't know. That's why I like being more like that's why sometimes I like being the one who drives places because then I'm like I'm picking up this time. Like if it's something important, then like I'll always volunteer to like try to be
Mhm.
the person who like coordinates it or like is the transportation because I'm like I wanna be
Yeah.
there.
Who's the latest on the team? Like, who's someone on the UNH women's hockey team that's always late? I feel like there's got to be a few people.
Honestly, I really don't think we have anyone who's like
That's good.
late. Like I think that like a lot of the girls are like usually on time, which is good. Like I don't know, even team meal, like they're not even mandatory. So people like show up late, like during the week, they're not mandatory. So people like do show up late because they have class and stuff like that. But like on the weekend, like when they are mandatory, like everyone's there like on time, like at least on time.
Mhm.
So I think like we're pretty good with being prompt and like on time to places. Like even if like people are there like a minute before it starts, like I feel like no one's ever like actually there like after the time. Like they're never late.
Yeah. Well, speaking of your teammates, who's the funniest on the team?
Oh, Tam. Here, she's hilarious. She's easily the funniest person on our team.
Now, you obviously have the best style on the team. That's not up for debate, but who has the second best style on the UNH women's?
This is an easy answer for me. Ray, and she dresses so well. Her game day outfits are always like super fire. So she's got a really good style, and I love her clothes. She sits next to me in the locker room too. So every
Mhm.
day I'm like, oh my god, like every day I always like something that she's wearing. So she to me is the best dress on the team. I give her credit because she's got good style, and it's not like basic style. Like it's
Mhm.
different and it's cool, and she pulls off a lot of things that people can't pull off too, which I give her credit for because she wears these cool like matching, like she has this yellow matching like shorts and like blazer, like a pantsuit, but it's shorts and a blazer. And she wore this like black boots and like really cool black hat with it, and she just pulled it off. And I was like, if I ever put that on, like I would just look so dumb, but like she looks so good in it. So I would say her, in my opinion. I love her clothes. I think they're sick. So
Now, on College Hockey Talk, we obviously have the pregame outfits of the week. When do you think she'll be featured on it? Because UNH did post something about it a couple weeks ago, but I haven't seen anything recently. So I'm kind of curious when that's going to come out
I
because I'm
think
looking for content
she
as well.
I think I really hope someone got a picture of her in her little yellow outfit. But other than that, I think that she's gonna have to be featured soon because she has a lot of good game day fits, and I think she definitely deserves to be featured on the game day the fit things
Oh, yeah.
because I think she could win honestly. So
There's a lot of people who want to get on featured on that, who want to win it. It's gonna be a tough debate because at the end of the season, there's gonna be who has the best fit throughout the season. So it's gonna be an interesting competition who might win that award.
yeah, that's fun though that you guys do that. That's so cool.
Now, if there was a movie made about your life, who would you want to play yourself?
I like Jennifer Aniston. I think she's funny, but I also think she can play like a more serious role. Like she can like, act like more like all around. So I would say her. I love her too. I think she's a great actress. I love the movie Just Go With It with Adam Sandler. That's a great movie. So I would love for her to play me. She's also Jennifer Aniston, so
Yeah, you get to say Jennifer Aniston played you in a movie. That's a
yeah.
pretty big flex.
It is a pretty big flex. That would be cool if she could be me in a movie.
Now, last non-hockey question is, what's the most embarrassing moment you've ever had in hockey?
Oh God, I have this answer right away. So at national camp at St. Cloud State, um, it's like for the USA hockey stuff, we obviously, we're all there. And the boards, like we hop the boards, and I'm horrible at hopping the boards. I don't know what it is, but I just can't really like I'm not the best at it. But at St. Cloud, the boards were super thin. And so like all like the like scouts, like they're sitting in the stands, like I'm going out. I ate it. Like I went to get on the ice and I ate it off the boards, like in front of like the USA hockey staff, like this was before I was committed. So like in front of like college coaches, I was like, oh my God, like this is so embarrassing. But like I ate it, like I face planted. And I did it twice that week too. Like it wasn't just like one time. And it was always in front of the same people. And I remember one of the coaches, we were going to do skill session off the ice. I see Kelly and he's like, I have a question. He like pulled the team in a huddle and he's like, so which one of you like face planted off the bench? And I was like, that was me. But yeah, so that was really embarrassing because like it wasn't just at like a tournament. So all like the USA scouts was over there. And it was just really embarrassing because I face planted and it was twice. Like it wasn't just one time.
Yeah.
So that was an embarrassing moment.
Yeah, I
Or
like what you said. I feel like every time you have an embarrassing moment, it's always in front of the same people. It's never like with different people. I don't know
no,
why
it's
that is.
always in front of the same people. And it's always in front of like important, like really important people, like
Hmm.
that you value and you and I was also not committed to college yet. So like all the college coaches were there and I was like, oh my God.
Hmm. Well, my most embarrassing hockey moment, I don't know if you do this drill, but it's like the drill you go from like the red line from like the ice and you go skate up, stop at the blue line, and then you backwards skate. And then you like, it's kind of like a zigzag motion. This is what a drill we used to do all the time. And someone forgot to close the bench door. So I was skating backwards hard and I like fell inside the bench. And luckily, I like hopped back up, but it was very, very embarrassing. So that's my most embarrassing. So it's always those benches. But I got very upset
It
that who
is.
didn't close the door. It was probably like one of the goalies.
It is the benches. The benches, they're dangerous. No one really notices, but
It is
yeah,
what it is, I
hockey,
guess.
it's just yeah, I've had a few embarrassing moments, but that was the top. That was really just
Hmm.
yeah.
Now back to some hockey questions. Now my first question is, what should be done to help grow the women's game, and do you think expanding the national tournament will help that? Because I saw that it's official now. It's going to happen this season too.
Yeah, I think that it definitely will help a lot. I think that it'll give like more opportunity for like more teams to compete, which is something that like people would like to see. And like obviously you're gonna want to be a part of that. And I think like growing the women's game in general, like it's little things like going to like communities and like offering like free like open skate clinic, learn how to skate like for girls, stuff like that. Like just like putting the idea out there, especially to people who like maybe didn't even think of ever signing their kid up to hockey. Oh, they see like a free learn to skate event with like a bunch of college players. They're gonna like in a small town especially, like they're gonna be like, oh, like I'll do that, like I'll take my daughter. So I think like little things like that and just going over to like local communities and like trying to like find ways to like get people on the ice and just like teach them. I think that like starts really, that's like the base and that's like how you get it started, because then you like, you get people into things that maybe they never thought of doing, and like that's how the game grows, like just by like kind of getting the word out there more. And then obviously like the bigger things like advertisement and like streaming more on TV and stuff like that, and like for people to watch while they're home. So there's definitely a lot of variables, but I think it's important to like get involved and like get people involved and find ways to like get people to try out like new things. So yeah.
Now, what advice would you give a younger player who's trying to pursue a D1 collegiate scholarship for hockey, obviously?
The advice I'd give them is to continue to work hard every day. If you have a goal, stay focused on it, and like no matter what people tell you, like you work hard every day, you can achieve what you want. Also to continue to work hard every day, because like I said earlier, there's always going to be people out there who are continuously working hard, and the minute you stop, you can and will get bypassed by those other people. So if you have a lot of high goals and you want to be the best, you need to continue to work hard every single day. And the biggest piece of advice that I would give is to never forget to have fun, because once you stop having fun playing the game, you will lose the love for the game and you're just not going to want to do it anymore. So never forget to always have fun. And I know that's cliche. Everyone's like, yeah, have fun. But it really is like important, because like if you're not having fun, you're not going to want to do it. So just
Mhm.
always remember to have fun, and mistakes are made. Hockey's a game of mistakes. So don't dwell on them. Let it go and just have fun. Move on.
Mhm. And if you eat it on the bench, don't feel embarrassed about it.
Don't feel embarrassed because everyone does it. Maybe not everyone, but some people do it.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Well, before we get, do you have any shout outs you'd like to give? And before we get to your shout outs, I want to shout out Brianna Brooks because she was the one that kind of recommended me to get you on the podcast. And to be honest with you, this is one of the best interviews I've ever conducted. So shout out to her for coming up with a
Well,
great
thank
guest. So I
you.
just wanted to say that. But do you have any shout outs you'd like to give?
Well, shout out to Bree. Thanks for
Mhm.
getting me on here, and just to my teammates. Love my team, and I'm looking forward to getting back to school and getting the season going. And shout out to my roommate Judo.
Mhm.
Love you, buddy. I hope you
Awesome.
watch this and see the end. But yeah, I love Judo. She's the best. But no, just yeah, shout out to my parents, just everyone,
Awesome.
everyone and anyone.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, Marina. I really, really appreciate you coming on. It means a lot to myself. Like I said, this was a great interview, and I appreciate your time. And I wish you nothing but the best for the rest of this season and for the next few years you have with UNH. I know you're going to kill it. Hopefully, I get to see you play in person this season. We cross my fingers on that one. But enjoy your holidays. Take care. Stay safe. And I wish you nothing but the best. Like I said, it was awesome having you on here today.
Thank you so much for having me. I enjoyed it, and also Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you as well.